all, what range? Because the last time I saw you, we were talking about Venom.
Oh, yeah,
The Last Dance.
right.
Oh, I'll bring you over a little bit.
Okay.
And now Bridget Jones.
Now Bridget Jones, very different. Yeah, very different.
Okay, so tell me, were you familiar with the franchise before you joined on?
I was, yeah. I, for almost a quarter of a century now. I love the first film. I knew the column a little bit because it was a big deal at the time. The Bridget Jones column, and then of course the book, and I was very aware of all of the excitement around the book. I didn't read it at the time, but I was very aware of it. And so my first real exposure was the first film, when the first film came out, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I thought Renée was incredible. I thought it was incredibly funny, and just the characters, obviously, Daniel Cleaver, Mark Darcy, all of the male characters as well as Bridget were just brilliant. So I had a really great time. So exciting to be here all these years later.
I know, you were the new kid on the block. Walking into it though, did you see Renée or did you see Bridget immediately?
Well, I suppose it was a little bit of a combination, but but it was a slightly strange one in the sense that she never comes out of the British accent, so I'd only really so I thought I'd met Renée, when you're hanging out or whatever between takes and, or just on, random days, but it was only really when we started to do the press tour for the release of the film that I first heard her speak in her actual own accent, so I realized that actually the Renée it was actually an inverted commas Renée. So it was a kind of Bridget Renée, hybrid. But I think that's, it just speaks to how immersed she is in the role, and I guess that's why she's so fabulous at it.
Yeah. This is a unique kind of comedy, and you matched it very well. I know that's not easy to do. It's the timing, it's the humor, it's the sparring back and forth. How fun was that for you?
I just thought it was a brilliant script. I really loved the script. I thought that the script was very emotional and very funny. I mean, as all of the films are, but this just sort of held, and then a great character in Mr. Wallaker, and that's obviously you're looking at that a little bit, through the process. You want the whole thing obviously to be great, but you obviously naturally pay special attention to the part. And I remember just thinking, I love this part. I love this part. I love this guy, and he's a bit buttoned up. He's quite uptight when we meet him, but there's something about him as an educator, as somebody who's really invested, in the lives of the people around him, that just felt very special to me.
Yeah, all I want to scream is Mr. Wallaker. But lastly, I want to ask you, we know how Mr. Wallaker, or maybe we do or we don't know how he's spending his Valentine's Day, but how do you like to spend your Valentine's Day?
Well, this year Valentine's Day is doing this, it's being here and promoting the film, which is, but I feel like Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day, I think, I'm excited to be around, the States for it, because I think it's maybe a slightly bigger kind of event in the States than it is in the UK. Be nice to observe, as an observer. That's great.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Go to Target. There's flowers everywhere.